I have another pick, which I did want to bring to the high score challenge, and it is a game made for a high score challenge. Incidentally, it's also a Halloween themed game, and the name of it is Darkula. Naturally, this game was made by Loco Malito for the PC. I mean, not naturally, but it was. And it looks absolutely stunning on the PC. Like it literally looks like a Taito game from the 1980s or 1990s. It's a sort of a clear the level game, a bit like Bubble. In fact, it reminds me of that sort of game, Snow Bros and stuff like that, and games like that. And there is the counterpart. I think this game was made in 2019, and then the port was done in 2022. So even this isn't as a recent game, but I really, really wanted to play this. The port, as I was mentioning, was made for the Amstrad CPC, and that only. And this would make a great, great game on the Amiga. If someone wanted to port this on the Amiga, I think it's the natural platform to port it for. Having said this, the CPC did quite a pretty good job. So I did a bit of a run-through. Run-through is a big word. I only reached third level, but I've and you'll get this video on YouTube as well when the episode airs in a couple of weeks. I think it is. No, well, today when you're listening, it is today. Yes. So I think I don't remember. So there's a story to it. The story says, decades ago, a group of monsters gathered to create Devilland Park, the most impressive amusement park ever. But after decades of living under the flashy lights, Darkula misses the feeling of running wild under the moonlight. Tonight, he decided to remove all the light bulbs in the park to remind others of the exquisite beauty of the moon over a dark sky. Go, Darkula! So, yes, you're this strange Darkula. And I don't know if you're like a hybrid being with a light bulb head. It's quite funny, and you have to go around this level, which I don't know. I'm trying to think if it reminds me of some sort of game, like more specifically. So you have different layers in this, different levels, but not different levels instead of in a way like. Stages, but you have literally different how do you say, I don't know,
floors.
Different sorry?
Different floors,
that's right, thank you. You must be late. You have different floors, and each floor has a set of light bulbs, and you have to just jump, and when you jump you crack them, or take them, but they disappear. And once you take them all, the screen will say good night, and it will go dark, and you will laugh a crazy laugh. So the concept is pretty simple, but the game is absolutely devastatingly hard, especially for myself. And you will see that on the video as well. It's so hard. At least I played the port, okay? So I didn't play the Windows version, which I really want to play, but I played the CPC port. And as I said, it was very, very, very hard. So
it does look to me like Monster Bash. It's an old arcade game, and that was also very hard, in my opinion.
I don't recall Monster Bash.
It looks exactly like a game. It's one of the few games I played the last few months. It's called Donut Dodo.
Oh yes, I saw that. Yeah,
it's it's just a modern arcade style game, and also it's exactly the same gameplay actually, which is quite bizarre. But but you pick up donuts.
Okay. So it's
but also a really good game, by the way. So I really want to play this in the high score challenge.
If someone decides they want to vote for this, I still I'm still like, we should have voted this. Why did we vote the Mutants of the Deep, which is also by Loco Marito, but this would have been the perfect high score challenge game.
We just don't do a poll anymore.
We'll just do it.
Play this.
Yeah. But if you read the description, Darkula is a score-oriented single-screen game. This is perfect. It's made on purpose. You get multipliers. If you get the light bulbs in a certain order, you will get multiplier. So there are some flashing light bulbs. If you get the flashing one, then once you've got it, another one will flash. And if you get them in the order, you will get a crazy score.
Just like Bomb Jack.
Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah, exactly. Now, all this getting the bulbs and putting your light bulbs away and cracking your light bulbs isn't free of peril. So you have enemies trying to stop you. So you have some blobs or like green slime bobs on the floor that move around, let's say left and right, at least to the point where I've seen. And you have to avoid them by jumping. Now, these are not the only enemies that you'll find. There are others. In the first level, you have a very, very annoying spider that goes and bounces around and then disappears and then spawns right above your head, just as you're moving to catch a light bulb. And then there are other different enemies. There's a sort of a Pac-Man lady that comes later on. Then you have a skeleton, which is in level 2, which is also very, very hard. Level 3, you have a different creature, I don't know, like a sort of goblin that throws you fire. And that's about as far as I got. You also have a timer that creates a bit of pressure for you, though I have never run out of time up to now. But I assume by going slowly, you would definitely make more out of it. You would be able to go a bit further. So the game is really, really well ported, I think, with some small exceptions, which I don't really know if are persistent in the Windows version, which are mainly how the sprite collides in some circumstance. So you kind of jump over things, and sometimes you want to wait to the last moment, but then the last moment comes a little bit early. It's like so the collision with the sprite is a bit too sensitive, let's say. And then I think there's a design choice here where if you get hit, you will lose one of the 3 lives you got. But when you lose the life, everything freezes and you're free to move. So I've played countless games like this, and usually what happens when you die is everything keeps moving and you get invincibility and you just go around and don't get hit. And that, because of this is the Rainbow Island, this is Bubble, this is any, Snowbros, they're all like that. And this one does it differently, so it really threw me off when everything was still. So even after playing about half an hour I did at this, I still got confused when they stopped, and I was like, it's like the game's over, sort of, but it's not. And then I have to remind myself, no, I need to get out of here now, because if you just stay there, the enemies will just start again, and then you'll lose another life. So sometimes, if I lost a life, especially in the beginning, I just leave my character there, and they will just die immediately because the enemies become, again, let's say, mortal. Not mortal. They become deadly. Sorry, that's a bad Italian translation. They become deadly immediately again, and then you immediately lose another life, and then you stay there, and then everything freezes, and then they kill you again. So it's a bit of an odd choice, I think. After all, I don't know if the Windows version is the same, but this was the CPC version.
Donut Dodo does the same. So maybe it's a modern thing.
Yeah, that part I didn't like as much. And then it becomes obviously a skill thing, like with a skeleton. My God, in level 2, it's again very, very hard because he throws your bone that obviously goes through the different floors. And then you have to avoid that. You have to avoid the flames. It seems simple, but they all move around quite a lot. And then there's the spider, which I learned how to deal with. However, I still think having it spawn sort of randomly kind of isn't fair. I think I noticed that it doesn't it tends not to spawn where you are, but I've had instances where I've just got a light bulb and then bluff, the spider just spawns on my head and I lose a I lose a life. So it was a bit frustrating, let's say. So yeah,
but
I think
just like every other arcade game, it throws you some.
Yeah. This is the perfect arcade game for me. The perfect arcade game, if there was to be any. So I'm glad I played it. I want to try the Windows version, but I'm totally glad I played the CPC version.
Is it free, the Windows version?
The Windows version, I think, is free, but I might be wrong. I did not, because I did not play the. Oh yeah, it is. It is free. You can donate if you want, and that's it. But you can download it from Locomalito's website. Instead, the other one I said it is on itch, and it's also it's not free. It's pay what you want. So if you want to pay something and contribute, you can. Otherwise, you can get it for free. I think Block 21 who ported it in 2022, which is quite funny. So yeah, these are my two picks. I quite like Darkula. I think it would be a perfect fit for a high score challenge.
Right.
Yeah.
There we go.
It definitely reminds me of Monster Bash. But you really don't remember that game? It wasn't that popular, but it's a early 80s arcade games where you are each level is a different the different castle or house of a different monster, and you have to, for instance, turn on probably the candles.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It kind of reminds me of that. But then I also noticed
Sega game.
Yeah, it does look like that a bit, doesn't it? It's very similar.
It says Sega, 1982. Oh, never heard of it.
But then there's a level with a roller coaster there. And it reminds me of another arcade game, but now the game escapes me. It could have been a Mr. Do game. Do you remember Mr. Do?
I know Mr. Do, yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't there also a Mr. Do game with a roller coaster that you have to avoid being smashed by the... I think it's called Mr. Do's Wild Ride.
Never heard of it.
So it reminded me a little bit that particular level in this Darkula game about this Mr. Do's Wild Ride.
Oh yeah, see now. Yeah. Never seen it before.
But anyway,
and when I look at Monster Bash, I see some screens, but it's always from the HD remaster. I can't really see. Okay. I did see an old screenshot, but it does look like it's got all the little ladders and stuff and different floors. Yeah.
And it was also quite difficult, that game. I remember that I tried to play it as a kid and I could probably get to the second level, but not more than that.
Yeah, this is also very, very hard. But I managed sort of to master the first level, as in I nearly always then at the end, well, not at the end, but when I was at my peak, I was able to never lose a life on the first one, but the second one, my God. I think it's one of those games where you do become better, but it takes time.
You have to figure out some route or something.
To have
the optimal route to avoid enemies as well. So I think you can learn it.
Makes sense.
I want to play it now, actually. So
let me know.
Continue the show.
If you want to play the Windows version, I'd like to see that as well, because I've not played it. And it looks much better, obviously, because the technology is different and whatnot, but it's like not all squashed. like the CPC version. In fact, that's why I say it's, for me, the perfect Amiga game. This would be amazing on the Amiga. Amazing Amiga. That's a nice...
I'm actually... I just downloaded the game, so...
yeah.
Cool.
Well, that's it.